Amy, congratulations to you for being a Prairie Farmer Master Farmer.
Thank you.
Have there been prior ladies selected as Master Farmers?
There have been a few, but I think they're small in number. I think there's 3 or 4.
You are in a very elite group.
Yeah.
So,
Yes, I'm very honored by that.
well, I know everybody is. You have a dairy operation. Now,
Yes.
this is probably more than what I remember my grandparents milking 2 or 3 cows. Tell me a little bit about your dairy operation and where it is.
So we are located up on South Beloit, Illinois. We're right on the Wisconsin-Illinois border. So actually, my mailbox is in Wisconsin. We milk 1,200 cows 3 times a day in a 40-stall rotary. In addition to that, we have about 2,300 acres of crops that we grow mostly for the dairy, consisting of corn, soybeans, alfalfa.
Right. So your crops, instead of being a cash crop, it's an input then.
Right.
That takes a little bit of changing around for some of the folks that are going to be listening or seeing this interview.
Right. Yeah. So most all of our corn grown is fed back to the cows.
Now, dairying probably a lifetime operation for your ancestors.
No, so I did not grow up on a dairy farm. So I married into it. So my husband, they started dairying in 1981 when he got out of high school, and then we got married in 1986.
So it's something that both of you were learning about.
Right. So his grandparents had dairied, and then they moved to our location in 1979, and like I say, started milking in 1981.
What are some of the challenges in the dairy industry today besides economic?
Oh yeah, economics always at the top of everybody's list, but just labor. Labor's always a big issue. Weather, it's not as predictable as it used to be 40 years ago, and I would say those are the big 3. Price, labor, weather are the big 3.
So how does a master farmer get answers to those challenges and be successful, as you certainly are?
You do the best that you can, and everybody works hard, and our family knows some years are better than others, and I think a lot of luck. I think it's a lot of luck, but yeah, we do the best we can, and some days are longer than others, and hope and pray.
Now, you indicated that labor is a major challenge. I'm getting. How many members of your family are involved in the management of the operation?
So we have 4 of our children are with us, and then my brother-in-law. His kids are still in school, but they help out part-time, and my mother-in-law still comes, and she mows and does stuff too.
So it's all hands on
It's
deck.
all hands on deck, right? Growing up, our kids in our family all had help on the farm, just because that was part of being in the family. But they didn't have to do it after school if they didn't want to. Everybody got to choose what they wanted as their career. So everybody had to go do something else. They had to go to school, and then they could decide if they wanted to come back or not. And so back in I guess it started in 2014, our oldest son was getting out of college, and I think he already was back farming with us. And so we started the discussion of how we could expand or make it so that all the kids could stay, or some of them could stay. And so we started looking at different facilities. Should we build a robot barn? Should we just use what we have with no hired labor? Should we? And maybe the kids had to go get jobs. There was no set right answer at the time. But at the end of the day, after a couple of years of pushing the pencil and looking at different facilities, we decided that the right decision for us was building a 40-cow rotary, that we thought that's where the technology was at and that's where the future was going to be. So So it was kind of a year or two of planning and a year of permitting and then a year of building. And so in 2017, we moved into a new facility, a new milking facility in Freestyle Barn. And so then that allowed the kids to come home. So, and by that time, I think all 4 of them were, well, I guess Ray wasn't out of school, but 3 of them were out of college, I think. At that time, Ray was still in college. So that's how we ended up. So
How do you pass down to them your experiences, your knowledge, what you've learned? How do you pass that down to allow them to make the decisions that they need to make to carry on this large operation?
right. So today we all still work together, hand in hand. Basically, everybody has a specific job they're responsible for, but at the end of the day, everybody does all the jobs. So, everyone's cross-trained. My daughter Angela can milk, and the boys have to help feed calves, or, everyone can fill in when the others are gone. So, so they kind of know the operation from the top down, and because of that, they see it every day. They're able to make decisions. They know what piece of equipment is at the top of the list to be replaced, or they know, they all meet together with the nutritionist on changing the ration, or so I think it's just they've kind of learned it as they've grown up, and now they're adults, and but they talk amongst each other too, bouncing ideas off of each other. So I guess that's just kind of been inherent as to how we've done it all along, is everybody gets a voice.
I don't think that works in a lot of families.
I'm sure it doesn't, and I can just say that confidently today. I might not, but obviously things change. But today that's what's working for us.
Is there anything in through your growth and your personal growth and in the operation since 1980 that you've looked back and said, I'm glad we tried this, but I sure wouldn't try it again?
Well, yeah. So obviously the last few years in dairy have been rough. We had nobody ever likes to talk about the bad parts, but so after I tell this big expansion story, we had shipped to Dean Foods for 40 years, and then Dean's filed bankruptcy, and DFA took over those. Everybody knows the dairy story, but anyway, we were caught up in that a little bit. So it was kind of stressful there for a while, and I hope that's behind us now. But there were a few years where we thought, wow, this probably wasn't a good thing to do, but we were in it and we worked through it. So and the kids know. I mean, the kids have been along for that whole ride too.
But they were educated during that challenge.
Right. So yeah, that was nothing you could have predicted necessarily, and just you were, like I said, we were in the middle of it, so we had to work through it. Our milk plant ended up closing, so DFA took over the Dean's plants, but then there was a lawsuit, and they couldn't own the Chemung plant, so that one is closed now completely. So now our milk goes for cheese, so it's worked out for us, I guess.
Okay, so when the milk leaves your farm, what happens to it?
Ours is made for Hispanic cheese.
Okay.
Ours gets shipped to, it's just the other side of Monroe, Wisconsin. It's called Browntown. The label is Supremo, and it's sold in all major grocery stores, but it's a Hispanic cheese.
Okay.
So we've been there now for about 3 years.
Okay. When you in the presentation today, and give you an opportunity to visit with the crowd, what are you going to tell them?
Yeah, it truly is an honor, and most of the things that I do, I really don't do for recognition. I do it because you want to make your community better and you're part of the community. So, so people have helped us along the way, and like I say, you gotta be part of your community. You need to be part of your community. So that's just why I do things, and I think my husband, my family, they keep me grounded. They keep me grounded. So I think he's, it's just.
We appreciate the time that you've taken here today. Amy Hildebrandt,
Yeah.
congratulations
Thank
to you for
you.
being a part of the 2025 Master Farmer class.
Thank you. Thank you.